to elevate.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
And I'm the second brother. And we have with us...
We have Rika. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Rika.
Mr. Player is going down.
Hey.
I don't do it well. I don't do it as well as you do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in this one, this topic, we're gonna be calling this topic Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda sign.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
I want to Rika that, because Rika was kind of like saying, do we have to? I'm like, yeah, you have to do the Wakanda sign, man. Rika was like, Dad, do we really? I'm like, yeah, we have to. Then it struck me. It struck me that, Mr. Clay, do you know that in ancient Egypt, they used to hold their staff of office like this? So that might be where it came from.
The mummies were buried like that.
Yes, everybody remembered the mummies, but even when they're on the throne, I believe they hold the staff of office.
Oh yeah.
Like that, So that might be where that came from. So Wakanda Forever, you see, the history of these things are very important. I'll actually study that because I've not really studied that. I'll see if there's any correlation.
There is definitely. You're onto something there. You're onto something there.
Because it just occurred to me that, maybe that's where that came from. Anyway, Wakanda Forever, is that a topic? Yes, it is a topic. Because you see, one thing is that I grew up with comics. So I've known about Black Panther since I was maybe 3-4 years old. This was when comics were comics, man, where you have to wait for another edition to come out. I followed all of them. I followed, I'm going to be 50 in a few months. Actually, this January coming, I'm going to be 50. Not hiding it. I'm going to be 50. So imagine, long time ago, I used to read comics. And I used to follow Superman, Spider-Man, Black Panther, all of them. So I knew about Black Panther way before, the film came out. And I used to be very happy even then, even in the comic days, that we at least have one black superhero. And I was good at drawing, and I'm good at drawing. So I used to develop my own black superheroes.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
There were many of them.
I remember those.
You remember I used to draw them, didn't
you? Your superhero characters.
Okay.
From Africa.
Okay. From Africa. So I used to draw them. I used to do it. So imagine how it is. I think, when did this film come out? Was it 2 years ago? Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I was 48, and I could not believe it. Black Panther. They first did a cameo on the previous film, but it was just maybe about 2 minutes cameo of him coming out of the car and him saving his dad or whatever, and the woman. But they didn't make a full film of the Black Panther. So when they now did a full film of the Black Panther, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, I've never seen a film where there was so much outpouring of love. Outpouring of release, of embracing, like they embraced Black Panther the movie. Black Panther the movie, it's up. I've never seen a movie that came out and people started making dance routines for it. I've never seen it, like Mr. Kaleye. I've never seen that film broke all box office records. And Black people were the ones that spent.
Considering what I heard, that the actors were paid the least.
Thank you.
All the other films, but the money that film made, it was incredible.
It was incredible. You know why it makes that money? Because Black people just went. excuse my expression. Because we couldn't contain ourselves. This is the first film that showed us in the kind of light that we deserve. Not the look at this boy in Africa, flies on his lips. He's gonna die in a second.
Fake movies. It's for the ones that were horrible.
Give him money or he will die. They will show you, the guy is sitting there. There's a vulture right there waiting for him to die so that it will feed on it. It will feed on him. The narrative of Africa in the West is really, really, really bad, honestly. But that is what you get when you let other people tell your stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said, what was they say? They said, until the lion can tell his story, maybe there's a saying along. Sorry.
What I was gonna say to the telling the story bit is that the stories are normally told by the conquerors,
the victors.
The victors.
Yes.
And there was some kind of switch that happened between the blacks ruling the world, and then the narrative changing, and them European coming and claiming a lot of credit for what was already created by blacks. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm still exploring, and I'm glad that the truth is coming out by itself without people even having to dig out for it. Black Panther being a major part of it.
Rika, what do you think?
Black Panther was an amazing film. It was very historical, and I loved it. Me and my brothers, we all loved it, especially because I don't think I'd ever seen a black superhero before. There's always the Supermans, the Spider-Mans, Hulk, Iron Man, but never a black superhero. Somebody that looks like me. I was blown away. So. Everyone came out to see that film. Honestly, I'd never seen so much publicity about a film in my life, and it was deserved, to be honest. So yeah, Black Panther really just showed us what we are capable of, what we came from, and where we're going, where we should be going.
And that's why I called this recording, this episode, Wakanda Forever, because you see, we are capable of what that thing depicts or what that film depicts. We know that film was fantasy, but it's no different from the folklore of Europeans, King Arthur and the Round Table.
Yep.
They took inspiration, they took encouragement, and they took all that to build their civilization. It's no different. So first and foremost, I was actually very surprised that Hollywood allowed them to even do this Black Panther. And I think they actually did it like, you know what, let's just do it. It's part of the Marvel universe anyway. But I don't think they expected that kind of outpouring and that kind of
and that's
box office.
And I think that's why they're even struggling to not come out with the part 2 so straight away.
Yeah.
Because it's already gonna be successful. They all know that. plus we just lost our lead actor, so
Chadwick Boseman.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Boseman.
Shout out to him.
What an amazing actor. Yes. But hey, again, life moves on, and we
shout out. He left a legacy. He
did. He definitely did.
All we can leave a legacy. Sorry, my daughter hates when I do this, but someday Mr. Phil too will be gone, and this will be a legacy of Mr. Phil. That people can listen to Mr. Phil when Mr. Phil is gone.
Yeah.
We all got, like I said, my daughter doesn't like, I'm not even looking at her right now. My daughter doesn't like this.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I'll be gone too. In fact,
are you guys in a hurry to go?
Honestly, trying to leave me in this horrible world.
No.
Are you ready to go? No, we're just being real, Anyway, so what I see for Africa, without much ado, is that film, if you've not seen the Black Panther, go and watch it. Africa was high-tech, super tech, even leading the world in technology.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In that film, we were leading the world in technology. Our technology was better than every other race in that film.
Yes.
It was so bad that one white boy saw the film, and there's a clip of him going around saying, "I want to be
black." He can be black. He can be black.
I look for that.
He can be black.
The guy saw the Black Panther films. The guy enjoyed the film so much, he started crying. Why am I white? I want to be black. I'm like, but you know what that does? It shows the power of the impression of multimedia. It shows the power of, I don't want to just say information. It shows the power of the narrative. Because it's almost, not almost, it's like when you have the right kind of narrative, like that film, it rewrites the neural pathways of the possibility of the future.
Yeah. And Mr. Phil, let me just interject. Don't lose your train of thoughts. But what he also showed is the fact that we've been fed those false narratives for many years. And it's always been like, no, I don't think so.
Thank you.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit right. It can't be true. And those years of programming, trying to program you a certain way. But the truth is always the truth. And it always comes back to the fact that you stand up and say, you know what? To myself, I'll be true.
Excellent.
I will have to take these steps because I believe these are the steps for me to take.
Okay.
Even though it goes against all the narratives and all expectations. Even the fact that they were doing this channel.
Yeah. Mr. Claire, please finish your train of thought.
Yeah, because it's not something that we've seen done, but you said let's do it.
Yeah,
and it was like, yes, let's do it. And even people are being touched. Sorry,
of course. Go on. Sorry, go on. Okay. Even some people have even said that we don't normally see people of our skin color talk about things like this. Personal development, evolution, developing your environment. They're saying, even entrepreneurship. A very good friend of ours was saying, it's so refreshing to see people of our hue.
Yeah.
So imagine if we didn't do it. So back to Wakanda. That film, like Mr. Clay is saying, is kind of resonated with all of us because, like he said, we've been fed so much false narratives for so long that we then thought, you know what, this is not right, that when we saw what was right, we were like, aha! Rika, what do you think?
Yeah, watching the Black Panther was the eureka moment for the Black community, especially in America, I think. Maybe because, I think that they have a lack of identity. They know that they're possibly African. They're Black, but they don't know their roots. They don't know, okay, if I'm from Africa, where in Africa? Well, most of them, I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So it was a sense of, ownership for them that, look, this is where we come from, okay? Like, we're not just these stowaway people that were dragged from our previous homes to a foreign land. So, you know, it was a great tool of empowerment, you know, for the youth, especially, to see that you're not the monkey that they said that you are. You're not the scum or the help most times. You're greater than that, and you can be great as well. So, yeah.
You come from the stock of kings.
Mm.
You come from the stock of kings. Honestly, look, should I go there? Should I go there?
Go there, sir. Go there,
okay,
sir.
Very quickly. I'm going to give you a crash course of history very quickly. Look, we come from a continent that is very mild. Our continent is so easy on the body that you can survive without clothes 365 years. So, as a people, when you're living in such a climate that is not harsh, you are hospitable. You don't have hate in your heart.
That's right. That's right.
When the Europeans came to Africa and they found out about, I believe it was Mansa Musa, and they found out the amount of gold that he had. It's on YouTube. They actually came back to Europe and started selling maps on Europe here, saying that's where the gold is. Go and get it. They started selling maps in Europe.
Wow.
To say, look at where the money is. Go and get it. How do you think they came to get it? Did they came just to trade? No. They came with gun and looted. That's why still today, our artifacts are still in the British Museum.
Mm.
They came with guns. And the Bible. There I stay. Gun in one hand, the Bible in another hand. Now, I'm not saying good or bad here. It happened in South America too. It happened in North America. It happened everywhere that they could take. Everywhere that, if you notice that there's always a place that has got a mild climate. But in Europe, the climate is harsh. The climate makes you cold, literally and physically.
Yeah.
So by the time they came to Africa, they were hardened. Look at the Scandinavians, the Vikings, what they did great in Europe.
Well, yeah.
Because they had to survive. So the mentality was, the way they came to Africa, they had already developed so many weapons of war. So that by the time they interacted with us, it didn't take. Look, even when they went to Shaka Zulu, pound for pound, they couldn't deal with Shaka Zulu's impies. They couldn't. Because that guy had rows and rows of warriors.
No, even with all their machine guns and.
Yeah. So what they did was they brought out the machine gun. That's when they brought out Maxim. They developed the Maxim machine gun.
The Maxim gun. Yeah.
And that is what defeated Shaka Zulu. Because the warriors were so brave that when they had this thing going, they're like, what is this? I better go and kill the thing. They're dead. The Maxim gun was like, and they called it, but they didn't know that was death. So they were being mowed down. And what I will say to African man is this: when you are being mowed down, then the next row come, they'll be mowed down. African man, think maybe we should stop running towards it. That is what African man is brave. African man is, but after a while, African man, your bravery should be in your intellect too. Not in just your brawn. Because if those Shaka Zulus impies waited and studied the Maxim gun and said, this is what is giving the white man advantage, the white man would not have defeated them. But they kept falling for the white man's same trick. Now, am I saying the bad white man is a bad man? No. He too has to survive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying white man bad. No. We come from the same stock anyway. But what I'm saying is that he too has to survive. But what I'm saying is this: when you are in a situation like that and you're being mowed down after a while, forget your strength. let your strength be your intellect. What do you think, Mr. Clay?
Well, that's the and I believe that if you look back in history, we've always, you know, we've always learned from our mistakes. And they're full of tricks because we are very honorable people.
Oh yeah.
And if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And there was a lot of tricks that they employed because they came from a very warlike history. And our wars were fought differently.
Yep.
Were fought for different reasons.
Yep.
It wasn't. It was a different kind of orientation altogether.
Completely a different kind of value system. Then we now went and now through their so-called education, we have bought into their value system that has now crippled, destroyed our value system completely, because I see it as them inviting us into their game. And now we're playing their game called democracy, like Fela says. And don't think I'm an activist. Well, I'm an activist. Well, we carry it on. But
in the spirit of protest,
like Fela said, demonstration of grace.
That's right. Crazy demonstrations. Yeah.
The guy was saying the truth. Bless the guy. We brought into their demonstration of grace. And they started, like I said, that's where they can, because if you're playing their game, they set the rules.
Yeah.
And they can make and break the rules.
Yeah.
And forget honor. So this one is about Wakanda forever. So let's bring it back around to the topic, which is that is setting us up for an amazing future of technology where we don't rely on the Chinese or the Russians or the universe has raised people within our midst. Look, in that film, I remind you again that the African technology was superior to every other technology in that film.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot have a superior technology if you're relying on the Chinese or and by the way, let me tell you a quick story about the Chinese and the Japanese. Do you know that in the 70s, nobody would touch a Chinese or Japanese product?
Yes,
because nobody trusted them. They won't work. But what did the Chinese do? They went and worked and worked. They worked and they worked and worked. Now, that same Japanese car that they didn't want to touch in the 70s is the only Japanese car that they're buying now. Toyotas, the Lexus. Just so to show you that the Chinese were not born. They weren't just born with all these things working for them. No, they too had to work. Africans, get ready to innovate. Africans, get ready to create. Africans, get ready to build your Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
See you next time.